Hello students, today we are going to continue with the novel The Sign of Four, in which Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are trying to solve the mystery of hidden treasure and murder. First, we'll see the synopsis of the extract. Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes were discussing on general issues when they were interrupted by the arrival of Miss Mary Watson, who has a case for Sherlock to solve. Means here both friends, Sherlock Holmes, who is the detective here, and his friend Dr. Watson, they were having a general discussion. At that time, they were interrupted by Mary Watson. She has come with a case and she wants Sherlock to solve it. Mary tells about her father's sudden disappearance on a trip many years ago. A few years later, an advertisement was published in a newspaper asking for her address, which she gave, and ever since then, on the same day of each year, she received a rare and expensive pearl. Here, Mary Watson, she informs Holmes that few years ago, her father suddenly disappeared, and after her father's disappearance, after few years, what happened, an advertisement was published in the newspaper in which they were asking for her address, Mary's address, which she gives, and after that, on the same day every year, she receives an expensive pearl. This continued for some more years, but today she received a letter asking to meet her. Now first she used to get only pearl every year on the same day, but this time they have the anonymous person has asked her to meet her. The letter warned Mary not to bring the police with her. Mary requests Holmes and Watson to accompany her to the place so that they can figure out the secret behind it. So that is why she has come to Holmes. She wants Holmes and Watson, Holmes' friend, both to accompany her to the place where she is being asked to come, because the anonymous person has warned her not to bring the police. That is why she has come to Holmes for help. Both agree to accompany her. Sherlock recommends Dr. Watson to read Winwood Read's book, Martyrdom of Man, and leaves the room in search of some references and facts that are essential for the case. Now he starts with his work. So he requests his friend Dr. Watson to read the book. By the time what he does, he looks out for the references and facts which will be helpful for him to solve the case. After returning from his investigation, Sherlock shares his finding with Watson. After finding out something, he comes to Watson to share about what he got. He believes that the death of Major Sholto, Mary's father's only friend in London, has something to do with the mysterious pearls she has been receiving every year. Means he tells to Watson that Mary's father's friend, that is Major Sholto, his death is related to Mary's father's disappearance and to the pearl she is receiving every year. Sherlock believed that Sholto's heir knows Mary has been wronged in some way, and he also informs his friend that Mary Sholto's heir, means his two sons, Thaddeus, his elder son, and Bartholomew, his younger son, they both of them know that Mary has been wronged in some or the other way. That's why they are sending her this letter every year, and they want to solve the problem. That is why she's been called. Later, Mary arrives at Baker Street as planned. Means they have planned that they'll meet at this place. Both Sherlock and Watson accompany her to the appointment, means to go to the place, with the mysterious letter writer. Means they are going to meet the mysterious letter writer, the anonymous person who is sending her the letter. Mary has brought a paper of her father's with her, which she wasn't been able to decipher. Means she has bought a paper of her father which she is not able to decipher, means to decode it into a plain language. She felt that the paper might be pertinent to the case in some way, means it might be related to the case, that's why she has bought it. It might help Holmes to decode the mystery, means to solve the mystery and find the disappearance of her father. Sherlock examines the letter and puts it away for safekeeping. He just looks, he goes through the letter and he puts it away. He, Watson and Mary go to the meeting. There a person asks them, any of them are police officer. Means when they reach the place, one person, he asks them whether any of them are police officer. Which they deny. They answer no. The person who is apparently a servant of the person they are meeting then drives them in a carriage. Means the person who asks them, he is the servant of that anonymous person. And he later on what he does, he takes them into a carriage. The trio arrives in a less fashionable part, means a less fashionable means old building, old part of London. A more rundown, means you can say it is old working class neighborhood. They are escorted inside a house by a servant, means he takes them inside the house. Now see the story. The sign of 4, chapter 2, the statement of the case. Miss Morton entered the room with a firm step and an outward composure. Means here the entrance, the arrival of Miss Morton is being described in this passage here. Here we come to know she has entered the room with an outward composure, means what she is from outward, she is look that she is very calm and composed. She was a young lady, small, dainty. Dainty here means she is elegantly small and pretty. Well gloved and dressed in most perfect taste. Means she was well gloved and she was dressed very nicely. There was, however, a plainness and simplicity about her costume which bore with it a suggestion of limited means. Means from her dressing, we could come to know that she was not from a very rich family, she was from a middle class family, you can say. The dress was a somber greyish beige, untrimmed and unbraided. Unbraided here means untied. And she wore a small turban of the same dull hue, relieved only by a suspicion of white feather in the side. Her face neither regularity of feature nor beauty of complexion, but her expression was sweet and amiable. Amiable means what? Friendly, sweet and gracious. And her large blue eyes were singularly spiritual and sympathetic. In an experience of woman which extends over many nations and these three separate continents, I have never looked upon a face which gave a clear promise of a refined and sensitive nature. Means here we come to know, from her appearance we come to know that she was a very refined and sensitive nature. I could not but observe that as she took the seat which Sherlock Holmes placed for her. Means here Watson is observing her so minutely, and here he tells that Sherlock Holmes, he tells her to take the seat, means sit down, place for her. Her lip trembled, her hand quivered. Quivered means what? Trembled or trembled or they were shook. She showed every sign of intense inward agitation. Means from her behavior we come to know that she had something was wrong with her. I have come to you, Mr. Holmes, she said, because you once enabled my employer, Mrs. Cecil Forrester, to unravel a little domestic complication. She was much impressed by your kindness and skill. Now she is talking to Holmes and she is saying that my employer, Mrs. Cecil Foster, had a domestic problem here and you helped her out to solve the problem with your kindness and your skill. So that's why now I have come with my problem. Mrs. Cecil Forrester, he repeated thoughtfully. Now when she tells her the name, so he is thinking about the lady. Try to remember her. I believe that I was of some slight service to her. Means he's saying, okay, I think I have helped her. The case, however, as I remember, it was a very simple one. But he's saying here it was a domestic complication. So it was a simple one, not very complicated. She did not think so, but at least you cannot say the same of mine. She is telling here, Mary is telling that, but my employer, Mrs. Cecil, she did not think. For her, the problem was major one, but as you are detective, it might be a simpler one for you. But in my case, you cannot say like that. I can hardly imagine anything more strange, more utterly inexplicable than the situation in which I find myself. She is saying that I am in more difficult situation. Holmes rubbed his hands and his eyes glistened. Now he is a detective, so he is very, you can say, he became very interested in the story. He got something new to do. So he rubbed his hands and eyes glistened. He leaned forward in his chair with an expression of extraordinary concentration upon his clear-cut hawk-like features. Means he just leaned forward in his chair. He wanted to show that how much interested he is in the case. State your case, said he. Means he is telling her, tell what is the matter, in brisk business tone. Means in short, very quickly you just tell me what is the matter. I felt that my position was an embarrassing one. You will, I am sure, excuse me, I said, rising from my chair. Now here Watson, he was just sitting and there was conversation was going between Mary and Holmes. So here Watson tells them that my situation is embarrassing one, so I should leave now. So please excuse me. And he just stood. To my surprise, the young lady held up her gloved hand to detain me. She just told Watson to wait and sit down. If your friend, she said, would be good enough to stop, he might be of inestimable service to me. I relapsed into my chair. Means she told him that to sit down. She saying that I want you all, if you also to sit and listen what I am saying. You can be also a help for me. Briefly, she continued, the facts are this. Means she started her story. My father was an officer in an Indian regiment who sent me home when I was quite a child. Means she is telling her father was in Indian regiment and he had sent her to her home. My mother was dead and I had no relative in England. Her home was in England and her mother died, so she had no relative. I was placed, however, in a comfortable boarding establishment at Edinburgh. Means she is saying that as my mother was dead, so my father had kept me in the boarding in Edinburgh, and there I remained until I was 17 years of age. In the year 1878, my father, who was a senior captain of his regiment, obtained 12 months leave and came home. She is telling that in 1878, her father, who was senior captain of his regiment for the Britishers, he obtained or he got 12 months leave and that's why he came home. He telegraphed her. He telegraphed to me from London. He telegraphed to me from London that he had arrived all safe and directed me to come down at once. Means here we come to know his father sends her a letter, telegraph, and he tells her that he has arrived from India and he wants her to come and meet her. Giving the Langham Hotel as his address, he informed her that he is been lodging in Langham Hotel. His message, as I remember, was full of kindness and love. Means he was very eager to meet her daughter. On reaching London, I drove to Langham and was informed that Captain Watson was staying there. But when she came to the hotel, she was informed that instead of her father, her father, some other person, she came to know that Captain Watson was staying there, but that he had gone out a night before, means one night before only he had gone for some work and till now he has not returned. I waited all day without news of him. So she waited for her father there only in the hotel, but he didn't turn up. That night, on the advice of the manager of the hotel, I communicated with the police and next morning we advertised in all the papers. Means as he didn't turn up, so manager of the hotel advised Mary to inform police and they gave advertisement of his about him in the newspaper that he is missing. All our enquiries led to no result, means they did not come to know anything about his father, and from the day to this no word has ever been heard of my unfortunate father. Means she's saying till now I didn't come to know where my father is. He came home with his heart full of hope to find peace, some comfort, and instead she put her hand to her throat and a choking sob cut short the sentence. Means she is telling my father came with his heart full of hope to find some peace, to be comforted with her daughter, but suddenly what happened? He disappeared and she started crying. The date asked Holmes, means Holmes asked her what's the date when he disappeared or when he was missing. Opening his notebook, he disappeared upon 3rd of December 1878, nearly 10 years ago. Means she informs the date, that is 3rd of December. Then he asked his luggage remained at the hotel. It was in the hotel only. There was nothing in it to suggest a clue. Means she's saying that you will not get any clue from that. Some clothes, some books and a considerable number of curiosities from the Andaman Island. She's saying only few clothes are there, few books are there, and number of curiosity means some books, number of things are there from Andaman Island which are not very, you can say you will not be easily understood, they are not very important, you can say. He had been one of the officers in charge of the convict guard there. Means some people have been imprisoned there and he was working as a guard for them. Had he any friends in town? Holmes asked her. Only one that we know of, Major Sholto. She's saying, no one, I don't know about my father's friend, only I know about one person. His name is Major Sholto, of his own regiment, and that person was also from his own regiment, the 34th Bombay Infantry. The major has retired some little time before and lived at Upper Norwood, and she's saying the person Major Sholto is retired now and he is living at Upper Norwood. We communicated with him, of course, but he did not even know that his brother officer was in England. Means when she went to meet Major Sholto and asked him about her father, he didn't knew that he was in England. A singular case, remarked Holmes. He's saying it was a singular case. I have not yet described to you most singular part. About 6 years ago, to be, she's saying I didn't inform you about the most interesting part of my story, that about 6 years ago, to be exact, upon the 4th of May 1882, an advertisement appeared in the Times asking for the address of Miss Mary Motson and stating that it would be her advantage to come forward. Means she is saying on 4th of May 1882 there one advertisement was published in the newspaper in the Times, in which the anonymous person has asked for her address, and he also said that he would be very grateful if she provides him with the address. There was no name and address appended. I had at that time just entered the family of Mrs. Cecil Forrester in the capacity of governess. By her advice, I published my address in the advertisement column. She said, Mrs. Cecil Forrester, she advised her to give the address. So she published her address. The same day, there arrived through the post a small cardboard box addressed to me, which I found to contain a very large and lustrous pearl. Means she's saying on this very same day, a cardboard box was sent to me, and in that a very lustrous pearl was sent. A shining pearl was sent. No word of writing was enclosed, means nothing was written, only a pearl was sent. Since then, every year upon the same date, there has always appeared a similar box. Every year on the same day, she gets a similar box, and only pearl is there, nothing is written on the box, or no letter was there in it, containing a similar pearl without any clue as to the sender. They have been pronounced by an expert to be of a rare variety or of a considerable value. Means the person whom she had shown the pearl, they said that it is a rare variety and it is most valuable one. You can see for yourself that they are very handsome. Means she very you can say nice. She opened a flat box as she spoke and showed me 6 of the finest pearls that I have ever seen. Means when she showed all 6 pearls, so here we come to know, the writer says they were the finest pearls. Your statement is most interesting, said Sherlock Holmes. Has anything else occurred to you? He's saying you have come with your most interesting story. Do you want to tell me anything more? Yes, and no later than today. That is why I have come to you. This morning I received this letter. She's saying, yes, one more thing I want to inform you that today only I have received a letter instead of pearl, which you will perhaps read for yourself. She just gives him and asks him to read. Thank you, said Holmes. The envelope too, please. Postmark London, SW, date July 7. Man's thumb mark on the corner, probably postman. Best quality paper, means he observed the letter. Envelopes at 6 pence a packet. Particular man in his stationery, no address. Be at the 3rd pillar from the left outside the Lyceum Theatre tonight at 7 o'clock. Here in the letter it is informed to Mary that she should come and meet the person at Lyceum Theatre tonight at 7 o'clock. If you are distrustful, bring 2 friends. Means if you don't trust me, you can bring 2 friends of yours. You are a wronged woman and shall have justice. He is saying something is wrong been done to you and I want you to give justice. Do not bring police, and in the letter it was also mentioned not to bring police. If you do, all will be in vain. He is saying instead of your friends, if you bring police, everything will be gone. Means I won't help you. Your unknown friend. Well, really this is a very pretty little mystery. What do you intend to do, Miss Marston? Means he's saying it is very interesting thing. What you want me to do? That is exactly what I want to ask you. Then we shall most certainly go. She's saying, I want to ask you only that what we are supposed to do. Then if you agree, we will go. You and I. And yes, why Dr. Watson is the very man. Your correspondent says 2 friends. He and I have worked together before. He is saying that we will take Dr. Watson also because we both work together. But would he come? She asked. She is saying, will he be ready to come? With something appealing in her voice and expression. Means she also wanted Dr. Watson to accompany. I should be proud and happy, said I. Means here Watson says, I will be very proud and happy if I accompany you all. Fervently, if I can be of any service. Means if I can help you in some or the other way. You are both very kind, she answered. She tells you both, Holmes and Watson, you both are very kind. Mary tells, I have led a retired life and have no friends whom I could appeal to. If I am here at 6, it will do, I suppose. She's saying I have led a retired life and I don't have any friend. If you both accompany me, will it be okay if I come at 6? You must not be later, said Holmes. She is saying that don't be late. There is one other point, however. Is this handwriting the same as that upon the bulb of addresses? Means he is asking that I want to ask you one more thing. The handwriting, does it match with the pearl box which you get every year? I have them here, she answered, producing half a dozen pieces of paper. You are certainly a model client. You have the correct intuition. Means he is saying that you are the perfect client. Means you have everything with you, whatever I ask you for. Let us see now. He is saying, we'll see what is the matter. He spread out the paper upon the table, gave a little darting glances from one to other. They are disguised hands except the letter, he said. Presently, but there can be no question as to the authorship. See how the irrepressible Greek will break out, and see the twirl of the finals. He is saying it is very mysterious story now. Let's see what happens at the end. They are undoubtedly by the same person. He is saying the person has very cleverly done this work. So let's see what happens. I should not like to suggest false hope, Miss Morrison, but is there any resemblance between this hand and that of your father? Means he saying, do you feel that the writing is of your father? Nothing could be more unlike, she tells. I expected to hear you say no, so we shall look out for you then at 6. He say, okay, I expect the same answer from you, and now we'll see what happens. You come at 6. Please allow me to keep the papers. I may look into the matter before then. He say, just keep the papers and go. I'll just go through it. It is only 3:30. Au revoir then. Au revoir, it means goodbye in French language, it is said. Au revoir, said our visitor, and with a bright, kindly glance from one to the other of us, she replaced her pearl box in her bosom and hurried away. She just went, saying goodbye. Standing at the window, I watched her walking briskly down the street until the grey turban and white feather were but a speck in the somber crowd. Means he just, Dr. Watson, he just watched her when she was going. What a very attractive woman, I exclaimed, turning to my companion. He told her, the Holmes, that she is a very attractive woman. I had lit his pipe again and was leaning back with drooping eyelids. Is she, he said languidly. I did not observe. Means Holmes is not interested in her looks. Here he is saying, okay, yes, oh, I think so. I did not observe it so minutely. You really are an automaton, a calculating machine. Means you are not bothered about any other thing. You are just serious about your case. I cried, Watson is saying. There is something positively inhuman in you at times. Means there is no, you can say, human nature. Means if you get something very nice or beautiful to see, you are attracted to her. But here we find Holmes is not interested in all that. He smiled gently. It is of the first importance, he said, not to allow your judgment to be biased by personal qualities. We say this is the first quality of detective, that you should not be biased because of the person appearance. A client is to me mere a unit, a factor in a problem. Means he is saying a client to me is only a person who has come with a problem and I am there to solve the problem. The emotional qualities are antagonistic to clear reasoning. Means if I become very emotional about that lady, then I will not be able to solve her problem nicely in a very truthful way. I assure you that the most winning woman I ever knew was hanged for poisoning 3 little children for their insurance money. Means he saying that the most winning woman I have ever come across is one lady who has poisoned 3 little children for the insurance money. And the most repellent man of my acquaintance is philanthropist who has spent nearly $250,000 upon the London poor. In this case, however, I never make expectations. In this case, however, I never make exception. An exception disapproves the rule. That is why I don't go on appearances. I look into the matter only. Have you ever had occasion to study character in handwriting? What do you make of this fellow scribble? Means what do you come to know about this handwriting? The which is there on the box and letter. It is legible and regular, I answered. Watson is saying the handwriting is legible and regular. A man of business habits and some force of character. Means from the handwriting we come to know the person is a businessman. Holmes shook his head. Look at the long letters, he said. They hardly rise above the common herd. The D might be an A and that I an E. He is saying that the writing is small. Men of character always differentiate their long letters. However, illegibly they may write. Means even though if they write illegibly, but they are clear in their writing, he want to say. There is vacillation in his case and self-esteem in his capital. See how minutely he is observing. I am going out now. I have some few reference to make. Let me recommend this book, one of the most remarkable ever penned. It is Winwood Reade's Martyrdom of Man. I shall be back in an hour. He is saying I have to work on the case by the time you read the story Martyrdom of Man. I sat in the window with the volume in my hand. Means here Watson he sits down near the window with the book in his hand. But my thoughts were far from the daring speculation of the writer. Here means he is saying but his thoughts were somewhere else. We'll stop here and we'll continue the same story in the next lecture. I hope you have understood. Thank you.